Yeah, thanks for the welcome back. It's certainly good to be back. Yeah, I watched the game of the house. Man, I was talking to my wife during the game that this has been so abnormal for me in the NFL. This was the fifth game that I missed this season and not able to play, and so it was a tough deal. When you want to be available, you want to help your team and all those things, and you're stuck at the house watching the game. So it's nice to be back, and excited for these next few weeks. I'm fully aware of the situation and where we're at in the playoff picture and all that stuff. So you get to a point where you compete from July till now to have an opportunity to get to postseason play, and then you have to deal with more things. So it's just one of the things that we've had to deal with this season, and we're still right in the middle of it, and we're gonna control what we can control. That's kind of been the vibe of this season, and what we've had to live by, and I think we've been able to persevere through it pretty well to where we're still in the hunt to get to postseason.
Do you kind of personally feel like there's almost nothing else that can happen to you?
I'm never going to say that. And look, you guys know my history. Football is just a game that you can't take for granted, because you never know when it'll be your last, and whatever. And that lesson was taught to me several times in college. So I'm fully aware that it's a brutal league on many accounts, from an injury standpoint, from a business standpoint, like you name it. And it's a challenging league to make it in and stick around. And so I think you have to have that mindset, to take advantage of every opportunity you can and control what you can control, because if you don't, it's a brutal league. So Wednesday I felt fine. Went in practice, and Trevor obviously tested positive Wednesday. And Trevor came into the facility. He got tested. It was negative. But I had talked to him before we went to practice, and he told me, like, hey, I went and tested. I was negative, but these were the symptoms that I was feeling. And then he progressively got worse through practice. And so they tested him again, sent him home, and he was positive. So I woke up Thursday morning feeling the same way that Trevor described to me Wednesday morning. And so I obviously didn't want to expose my teammates to what I had, and came in and I got tested, and it was obviously positive. Yeah, I think I would have said the answer was yes in some weeks. There's some weeks that you get a little banged up over the others, and I think by week 17 everyone's dealing with something. But I would say that for me physically, like, my body has gotten to a place where I'm used to the bumps and the bruises and the banging and what's asked of me on game day, that honestly I felt fine. The issues that I'm dealing with between my finger and my foot and stuff, those are just issues that I'll have to deal with the rest of the season. So physically I felt fine last week, and I wouldn't say that there's any noticeable difference from last week to this week. But that's not always the case. Most of the time maybe a week off like that would do you some good. But physically I was feeling pretty good last week. Yeah, I mean, there was a range of emotions, right, where I was disappointed that I wasn't able to play. But, my disappointment of not being able to play was some excitement for Ian. And look, I dialed in on every Zoom call. I was a part of every meeting that we had last week from home. And then I had multiple conversations with Ian over the phone to support him, and I was excited for him. Ian's been a great rookie. He's been fun to have around. He came in here with the right mindset, wanting and willing to learn and work hard, and all those things. So when this happened and he was getting this opportunity, I was excited for him. And so I think the thing that was most disappointing to your question was that I wasn't able to be there on the sideline for him. I wasn't able to be there to talk him through different things, to talk to him about, what they were doing. Here's, whatever, that conversation would have been on the sideline. And I think that there's a comfort level, from training camp till now. We've been together for a long time, and I was disappointed that I wasn't there for him that way. I think the mindset is always the same. I came in here this morning fired up and excited and ready for the next challenge, the next opportunity on Sunday. So, look, last week happened and we lost a tough game, but I think in the grand scheme of things, we're still in a good situation. Now it's not ideal because we obviously need some help, but I think my mindset for me personally, and where we're at, is we're going to continue to get better and better, and get healthy and get guys back and keep this thing rolling. So what happened last Monday night, I guess, isn't going to derail our mindset and our expectations of ourselves. I think as you get ready for a season, as you start to talk about team goals, and expectations and stuff, having a good home record is always one of them. You got to win at home, and so I think that that's been a little frustrating for us as a team, that we haven't played better at home. But I would say that we're not looking back. We're not dwelling on the past. We're not worried about who's gonna pop next, or whatever happens is going to happen. But as I mentioned earlier, we've got a one-track mind, and that's winning this football game on Sunday, and then winning the next one, and then see what happens from there. I think, and that starts Sunday. Our fan base is one of the best in the country, and I know that they'll show up, and we'll take every little advantage and all the help that we can get, and hopefully get this home game.